Kevlin Garage here. This is part 2 of the axle rebuild, and I have all the parts I needed. I actually had to go get a new boot from Subaru. So here's the part number, and you can see it has this white retaining clip in here, which is what was broken from the boot. That's the clip that I needed. It looks like it comes with the boot itself. You can't get it separately, or at least that's what the guy at Subaru told me. Anyways, so I have cleaned up here, and I don't think I'm gonna redo that side. I don't think I'm gonna redo the hub side. I think I'm only gonna rebuild the side that goes into the transmission. This boot looks pretty good. There's no leakage. If it's not broken, why fix it? And I want to save myself some money and some time, so I'm only going to rebuild on the spider bearing side. And it looks like I just need to clip off the band, remove the remaining piece of boot, install a new boot, tighten the band, fix the bearing, and I'm ready to go. You guys, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the snap ring that's in here. Ooh, that was easier than I expected. Alright, so we got this guy off. Here's the bearing. And let's see if there's an upside or downside. I don't think so. It looks like it's the same thing. That's what I'm so hands off. And should we get this little piece of boot off? Awesome. This. I'm going to slide this part down to the groove here. Bingo. And then all I have to do now is just put the band on, so let's get it going. And the cool thing about this band is that it actually kind of opens up before you seal it. So see, opens up so we can slide this in. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it as tight as I can here with my hands. Okay, so I got it as tight as I could with my hands. Now I'm going to use my tool to squeeze this and tighten it down. Hopefully that does the trick. I'm just making sure that it's not going to be way too loose, where I'm going to end up wasting a band. Alright, so I got the band. Get the band right in here. I got this tool here. I'm gonna place it over that little bump, and all I'm doing is I'm holding down on this because otherwise it'll want to slide out. And then I'm gonna finger tighten this. Then I'm gonna use a 14 here to tighten the band. Before I do that, I see a little gap here, so I'm going to try to tighten this a little bit more. Hold on. Alright, I tried to tighten this closer, but you can still see a little bit of a gap here, but that's fine. I'm just going to wing this. So here we have the tool on, and so this little thing here is actually shrinking. And I'm going to get all the way. Okay. We got ourselves a new band. Now let me just inspect for any. I want to press this down here. I think we're good. We're Gucci. So yeah, make sure you get yourself one of these tools. I think it's like $25 to $30 on Amazon. I saw it on a YouTube channel, and the guy said it was a Toyota only tool. But nope, found it on Amazon. Pretty handy. Hello everybody. So we have a little minor setback. I thought I was gonna be able to reinstall my axle last night, and unfortunately these bearings are no good anymore. Let me show you. I can easily pick these off. That one just literally fell out. So I'm gonna need to go find one of these. It's called a tripod joint, I believe. There's an 04 at the junkyard here, is about 30 minutes away, and hopefully that one has a decent tripod joint, or maybe just a decent shaft. If not, I'm gonna have to wait until I find another 04 at the junkyard. I literally just went like that and it flicked away. So stay tuned, and thank you for following along this rebuild. I'm really anxious to get this done, and I want to put this in before I start putting the engine together, because with the engine removed, or most of the engine removed, I have a ton of room for me to get in there and be able to you know, put in the band that goes on here connecting to the transmission. So I definitely want to get this done first, but we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Hit up the junkyard, and I was able to finally get the tripod joint. And let me tell you the struggle that I went through. The donor car was extremely rusted. My impact ran out of battery, and I literally had to use an exhaust pipe to use as pretty much a cheater bar. I got my cheater bar. So that I can take the 2 bolts off that connect the spindle to the shock. But we finally got it. Nice and shiny. So the struggle was definitely worth it. Now my local junkyard, they don't have this particular item in their computer system, so they charged me as a bracket. Nonetheless, it was only $15 and way cheaper than getting a brand new axle, which is several hundreds of dollars. Alright, so I'm having a little difficulty getting the tripod joint here to seat all the way down. I sprayed it with brake clean. It's a little cold, so I think that, I don't know, metal must have shrunk. A quick update on the axle. So after going back and forth on heating it and putting ice on the axle, trying to shrink the metal and doing all that types of science, the main issue why the donor, or the new to me tripod joint, was not going in is because it's newer versus the one that came off of the axle is older and kind of worn out, so the grooves are not as well formed, I guess. So the new one was not fitting because, you know, it's got better looking grooves and the axle doesn't. But I was able to finally get it in. That's what she said. And here it is. Pretty good. So I can finally say that I successfully rebuilt my first axle without needing to go buy a new one. I did have to go buy this. It's a bearing. It was $15 out the door, and we're good to go. So next step is to install it. We're finally going to install the shaft that I fixed the other day. We have the shaft ready, and we just have to straight shoot it in there. I'm going to go in this way. I'm going to connect it into the cup over there, and then I'm going to put some grease. Once I put the grease on there, then I'm going to put the band and I'm going to tighten it down with a special tool. So here we go. Alright, so I just got done clamping down the transmission side. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other end through the hub and at least get it in there and ready for the remaining pieces on the suspension, which is the outer tie rods and the ball joints. So this technically concludes the axle rebuild. The rest is just extras like the outer tie rods and then putting on the axle nut. All that is just kind of like the finishing touches. I'm gonna leave that as it is because that's again pending on some other parts, and I want to move forward and get a little bit more progress on this. But as always, thank you so much for watching Gavilan Garage, where we don't know anything but we'll fix everything. Till next time.